everybody, my name is Melissa and welcome back to my channel, Hopeful Happenings. Today I'm sharing 4 of my favorite writing craft books for authors. Excited to share with you the 4 writing craft books that I love and I have used so many times as I've written my novels. I'm going to share them in the order that you would write the book. So if you have come up with an idea, the first thing you do, assuming that you plan out a little bit of your novels, is you're going to write some sort of outline. Now I know there are pantsers and plotters. Not everybody likes to plan ahead. Some people like to just wing it. But this book is a really convincing piece of work that shows you that plotting is very beneficial because there are certain things every major best-selling story has, and by using these certain plot points or beats, your story is bound to have success. So the first book is Save the Cat Writes a Novel. The original was called Save the Cat, and it was written for screenwriters. Then this book came out that was the same thing except adapted for writing books. So the Save the Cat story structure provides compelling tips and tricks to help your story become as riveting as a movie. Whether you're writing romance, fantasy, horror, every single compelling story out there consists of 15 essential plot points or beats. What I love about this book is not just that it works, like everything in here really does work, but the first half is kind of the author telling you what these different beats are, and then the second half is the author taking real examples and dissecting them. So she'll take a book and just dissect it on every single of the 15 beats. So you can see with a real example how someone else did it. And she does this enough times that by the end you really do have a firm grasp of the concept, and I'll tell you, it is a game changer. The second book is something that you would use as you're writing. You can also use it before when you're outlining just to get a bigger grasp of what your different scenes will look like, and you can use it in the editing stages as well. We're talking Scene and Structure by Jack Bickham. And I just realized I didn't tell you who the author was for this. It's Jessica Brody. Scene and Structure is part of a series, the Elements of Fiction Writing series. There are a lot of books in this series and they're all really good. One other one that I really like is Setting in this series. But the Scene and Structure book is essentially teaching you how to write scenes so that they flow very smoothly. And the main idea behind this book is that every single story is consisting of scenes and sequels, or rather scenes and summaries, kind of like what happens, which is the scene, that's the action, and then the in-between before the next scene. It's kind of like your breather between scenes. And this book not only explains everything really well, but it also tells you how to use it to pace it. So if your book is too long, too short, or goes too fast or too slow, then it will help you use those scenes to fix the pacing. The next book I've actually mentioned before in previous videos, but it's so good I've got to mention it again. This is a book I use both when I'm writing and editing. It is not a book that you would read cover to cover. It's a source book. That's right, if you've seen my videos before, you know I'm talking about the Writer's Digest source book, Building Believable Characters. I love this book for creating characters and creating emotion. It's kind of a thesaurus for human characteristics, both physical and psychological. With this book, you can master physical descriptions of your characters. You can also master the different kinds of personality traits, and then how you can mask emotion on the page. So it will have a page about anger, and instead of saying he was angry or he yelled, it will give you an entire list of different ways that you can describe the emotion anger. Same thing for anxiety or nervousness. It has the facial expressions and then body language. So facial expression examples could be blinking excessively, lip twitching, grinding your teeth, gnashing teeth, smiling spastically, forcing a smile. They're just different ways that you can describe the emotion so that you don't have to rack your brain thinking, what else can I say so I'm not saying the same thing over and over again. It also helps you create the characters for style, accents, and their names. So a great book to build believable characters, as the title says. And that is by Mark McCutcheon. Once you've completed your novel, you're probably thinking about some way that you can publish it. And whether traditionally or self-publishing, the best book that I've found so far for covering all the different questions you'll have when you want to publish your book is this one. The Essential Guide to Getting Your Book Published by Ariel Eckstedt and David Henry Sterry. I hope I pronounced that right. But actually, Ariel and David also go by the Book Doctor's name. They have an Instagram and Twitter and YouTube accounts that I follow. And the cool thing is that Ariel is actually a literary agent and her husband is an author. So they've published many books together, and just also having that insider's look on the publishing industry really does show. As you can see, it's a pretty thick book, and honestly, it covers so many things that I don't even know how to describe it, except they described it in one way when they were pitching it to a publisher as being the what to expect when you're expecting book of publishing. So it will cover everything from like perfecting your pitch, creating a query letter, contacting agents, contacting editors, what happens if you've got a rejection, what happens if you want to self-publish, and then also everything past that point in marketing as well. It even covers ebooks, crowdfunding, social media, micro-publishing, and more. Well, there you have it, guys. Those are my 4 favorite craft books for authors. I do hope you'll consider checking out these books if you're an author or an aspiring author, because they do make a huge difference. If you've read one of these books, then tell me about it. I'd love to hear what you thought about the book, and if there's anything you think I've missed or another book that you would like to recommend, I'm all ears. Please share that with me below, or you can contact me directly through my Instagram. And if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. I hope you will consider subscribing on your way out. I post once a week on YouTube, and I post daily on Instagram, also sharing more writing tips on there. Until next week, we'll see ya. Happy writing!